Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond Default. If you're new here, my name is Teresa, and if you've been on this journey with me since the beginning, I'm saying welcome back to you. I'm not an expert, I'm simply a woman, a human being, trying to navigate this beautiful life on this extraordinary planet. Everything I share here comes from my own experiences. Sometimes I get things right, sometimes I don't. But I've discovered that if we remain curious, honest with ourselves, and willing to grow, life has a remarkable way of becoming our greatest teachers. Today, I'd like to share one lesson with you. I like to call it the comfort trap. The dream. For most of my adult life, I imagined retiring the way many people do, with more freedom, more time, and less stress. The opportunity to finally enjoy life. Eventually, I did retire to the tropics. Palm trees, warm weather, the ocean breezes. On the outside, it looked like I had created a wonderful life, and in many ways I had. I was comfortable, but there was something I didn't understand. Comfort and peace are not the same thing. The slow drift. As the weeks turned into months and the months turned into years, things slowly began to change. The currency here became much stronger, while the dollar became a bit weaker. My rent increased by 30%. The cost of groceries continued to climb, and little by little, the savings I had worked so hard to build began disappearing. I could feel the worry churning in my stomach. Every month became another calculation, another adjustment, another attempt to stretch what I had just a little bit further. I tried to stay positive. I tried to convince myself everything would work out, but underneath the beautiful surroundings, I wasn't at peace. And eventually, it began showing up in my life. My motivation slowly disappeared. Projects I had once been excited about sat unfinished. I questioned myself, and perhaps the hardest realization of all was recognizing how much my self-love had diminished. Looking back now, those unfinished projects weren't really about procrastination. They were symptoms. Something deeper was happening. I was worried, I was afraid, and I didn't know what to do next. On the outside, I was living in paradise, but on the inside, I was slowly losing my peace. The realization. That's when I discovered something. Sometimes comfort isn't a reward. Sometimes it's where we hide. We can become comfortable with anxiety, comfortable avoiding difficult conversations, comfortable postponing the changes we know we need to make, comfortable telling ourselves, I'll deal with this tomorrow, until one day, tomorrow becomes years. I couldn't go back and become the woman who had planned differently. I couldn't undo the decisions that I had already made. I certainly couldn't spend the rest of my life punishing myself for them. So instead, I asked myself a different question. Not, why did this happen to me? But, what am I willing to do now? A moment of compassion. Before I go any further, I want to be careful here. I don't believe every difficult circumstance is something we can simply mindset our way out of. Sometimes life places us in circumstances we never would have chosen. Some people are carrying grief. Others are living with depression. Some are facing illnesses. Some are facing financial hardships or burdens that no one else can see. Sometimes just making it through each day is an extraordinary accomplishment. Doing the best that we can looks different for every one of us. So perhaps this question isn't, why haven't I fixed everything? Perhaps the question is, given where I am today, what choice is available to me? Maybe it's a big choice. Maybe it's a very small one. And maybe the bravest choice is simply asking for help. The turning point. I recently read something by Sincero that stopped me in my tracks again. She wrote, "If you are serious about changing your life, you'll find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse." I'll admit, it stung, and it stung hard. Not because she was talking about someone else, but because I felt she was talking directly to me. I realized that some of the things I had been calling reasons had quietly become excuses. And excuses can be very comfortable. They allow us to explain why we're stuck without asking us to move. So I made one decision, and then another, and I began reading again. I began taking my tools and my wood and building again. I began learning again. I finally completed that bookshelf that had been waiting for me for over a year. I started this channel, not because my problems had disappeared, they hadn't, but because I had decided to participate in my own life again. The shift. And then something beautiful happened. The things I had been forcing myself to do began feeling different. They stopped being another task on my list. They became the joy at hand. Not the task at hand, the joy at hand. I was creating, I was learning, I was building, walking the dogs, reading a good book, growing, showing up for my own life. Not because everything had changed, but because I had changed. The lesson. I've learned something that I hope stays with me for the rest of my life. Comfort asks, how can I avoid discomfort? Peace asks, what am I needing to be willing to face? Those two very different questions. One keeps us asleep, the other begins waking us up. The closing. So today, I'd like to leave you with two questions. What are you calling comfort that may actually be keeping you stuck? And what might you need to face in order to find peace? You don't have to answer those questions today. Simply notice what comes up, because awareness doesn't judge. It simply notices. And when you're ready, take one small step, then another small step. Not because you're trying to become someone else, but because you're becoming more fully yourself. I want to thank you all for spending some time with me this week. Until next time, remember, always live with purpose, live with meaning, and by all means, live with intention. And together, let's move beyond default. And if this resonated with you, please consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps the algorithm. and we can grow way beyond default. I'll see you next week. Bye now.